Good morning, this is Kellaland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We have an update on an attempted murder investigation we first told you about in May. More than 6 months after a man was found with a bullet in his brain in a car along a Lincoln County road, the final suspect is behind bars.
According to court documents, it began as a drug deal outside a Sioux Falls restaurant in April. When 4 teens took off without paying, the victim followed them.
20-year-old Rakeem Fitzgerald was booked into jail Tuesday morning. The Pennsylvania man is one of 3 people accused of aiding and abetting attempted murder. Antonio Hacker pleaded guilty earlier this month. Denai Cha is out on bond.
According to court documents, Victor Rios is accused of pulling the trigger. His trial is scheduled for January.
A crash in front of Roosevelt High School sent 5 people to the hospital, including 2 kids with serious injuries. Sioux Falls police say 3 teens in a red Toyota were heading east on 41st toward the school. A gray Subaru was traveling in the opposite direction and tried to turn south onto Sertoma Avenue.
The cars collided and slid into a pedestrian standing at the corner. Everyone was taken to the hospital. The pedestrian and a passenger in the red SUV have serious injuries.
We had school resource officers that were here at Roosevelt. They responded right away to the scene out front, along with a variety of patrol officers to begin shutting down streets and trying to secure the crash scene.
Police are also still trying to determine if speed, seatbelts, or impairment were a part of the crash. Whooping cough cases in South Dakota are up more than 400% over the 5-year average. According to the State Health Department website, 170 cases have been reported so far this year.
For the last 5 years, we've averaged about 33 cases. State epidemiologist says people don't need to be worried, but they should be aware.
So making sure that you're taking those general precautions of, staying up to date with vaccines, first and foremost, so that you're avoiding illness. Making sure that you're avoiding people who are visibly sick. If you yourself become sick, make sure you're covering your cough and sneeze and staying home.
Whooping cough, also known as pertussis, is highly contagious and is usually spread when people cough or sneeze.
The United States Postal Service will retain some local mail processing operations in Sioux Falls and invest up to $12.75 million in the Sioux Falls facility.
That's according to a news release from the USPS. It comes after officials announced they would shift local mail processing operations to Omaha.
The release also says there won't be any impacts to employee and staffing numbers. We've included statements from the Postmaster General with this story on our website. Now let's get a check on our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. There's some snow out there today, Scott.
Well, we're watching that snow in the eastern, mainly northeastern South Dakota, where we've seen some heavier snowfall during the morning hours. This is expected to continue into the afternoon, as well as the strong winds that we've had since yesterday. We'll continue to watch the snow and wind throughout the day today across eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and northwestern Iowa. Sunshine today in the western Kettleland, where Rapid City will have a high temperature of 44. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. As part of Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week in Sioux Falls, area agencies are coming together to better show the resources available to the city's most vulnerable people. The various organizations within the city's Health and Human Services building came together yesterday for a resource fair.
The Eat Well Mobile Market was there giving out gift cards to their grocery store on wheels. Minnehaha County hosted a drawing for bus passes, and Church on the Street was keeping people warm.
Making sure that those that are experiencing hunger or homelessness are more aware of the vast pool of resources that we have in Sioux Falls. I mean, we really are resource rich.
There are a variety of events happening this week to raise awareness on hunger and homelessness. To view a list of the events, visit this story here on KELLALAND.com.
A tradition of providing Christmas gifts to the at-risk youth at McCrossin Boys Ranch in Sioux Falls continues this holiday season. The Tree of Hope is now on display at 4 locations in Sioux Falls, including 2 trees at Shields.
You can do your part by selecting a tag, buying the gift, and returning the card and unwrapped present to the tree location. The Chief Development Officer at McCrossin says it could prove to be a kid's first true Christmas.
On Christmas Day, there's tears of joy, there's laughter, there's happiness. A lot of these kids just can't even believe that someone took the time that didn't even know them to buy them something for Christmas.
The Tree of Hope is also located at Chick-fil-A, Hy-Vee on Minnesota Avenue, and Runnings on East 10th Street, where you can also purchase a gift for the animals at McCrossin. They ask that the cards and gifts be returned by December 23rd. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather picture today, pretty busy here with the band of snow. It's kind of an interesting layout, though, because it's kind of concentrated East River and even just a few select counties involved in this winter weather advisory. Some of the forcing that comes off the James Valley and up the terrain is helping to induce some more of that snowfall accumulation. And if you're in the advisory area from Howard, Madison, up here through Webster, keep in mind some local totals. I think right now it's pretty safe to say that we're going to be at least in that 4-inch mark in some of those spots, not everywhere, but it's just kind of these local, hyper-local issues today that pertain to a few of you watching us. You can see our broader snow forecast, a lot of 1 to 2s. Huron's in that category. Sioux Falls probably an inch or less here, just enough to say we can get some more snow from time to time. Brookings, Watertown, we can entertain a couple of those numbers too, an inch or so. But that's what I wanted to point out. There's definitely evidence supporting Webster. I know it says 2.5, but it's more than that. It's actually closer to what's going on near Clark. There's going to be that enhanced local band that northwest wind's going to drive that today. So just keep watching the conditions there. Obviously, we've been running clothesline announcements on KETHLELAND.com. Continue to watch that. Well, you can see the progression of this system through noon. Still pockets of snow along and east of the James Valley through 12 o'clock. It's not very warm. It's very windy, very blustery. That continues, the wind at least throughout the duration of the afternoon. Sioux Falls area, we're aiming for low 30s. That's not a warm day. And then for tonight, we'll see the system beginning to break up and depart. And then for the overnight lows, primarily here in the upper teens and low 20s. So very much a hard freeze there. And then for Thursday, still in the 30s for many of us. Rapid City in the far southwest will be a little bit warmer. And you'll probably build on that a little bit more for Friday as well. This system will depart. It's going to take an exit strategy into the Great Lakes. So as it backs up and moves east, there's the snow this afternoon. Sioux Falls, even over to Minneapolis, we've got snow bands in southern Minnesota today. High pressure from the west that does build in. So that's our improvement in the forecast to end the week. We've mentioned several things about the winds this morning, but just a quick review or a preview, I guess is the way I should say that, for Thanksgiving week. We do have some cold air lurking to our north. A lot of details. We're just a little early yet on timing of things, but I will tell you, once we get to about Thanksgiving or a little bit after that, there are numerous data points that are suggesting that we are going to start picking up some better chances of snow again. Again, those are broad picture items. We're not into any specific snow forecast yet. And obviously, timing is everything. If it delays a few days, that's a big deal. I know many of you have got plans to travel, and so we'll keep you posted. A little bit more on that story tomorrow. 32 today, Sioux Falls, your KETHLELAND live Doppler HD forecast. Let's finish things up here with those weekend numbers in the 40s. Lows in the 20s for pretty much the whole way through now. We're definitely getting closer to where we should be. We've been on easy street for a while. Now we get a little more winter. Aberdeen in the 30s, pretty much through and through. It's going to be tough to get warmer conditions here, especially those of you picking up that snow today. And for Pierre, where it is drier, windy today, 40-degree weather should return this weekend. And Rapid City will probably do a little better than that, at least in the upper 40s by the start of the weekend. There is another system. We'll kind of keep an eye on Monday, too. Maybe a chance of snow sneaking into the Black Hills. More details online at KETHLELAND.com.